Good day, dear students. My name is Ms. Claudia Maritzane. I'm your tutor for a certificate in early childhood education, CEC CA112. Now, this presentation will help you to better understand some concepts in preparation for the 3 examinations and the assignment. My contact details are on the next slide, and my Gmail address in case you need some clarity on some concepts. My contact hours are from 7 up to 9 o'clock p.m. Now let us start at Unit 1. Let's look at some concepts and explanations. Perceptual motor skills. When you hear the term perceptual motor skills, you should know that it has to do with the human development and growth. Now, these skills, in complement with cognitive and sensory motor development, are at large responsible for the individual's ability to engage in athletic activities like running, jumping, skipping, etc., to interact with the environment. Now, let us look at some examples of those activities that we were talking about. What does it entail? It works with the hand and eye coordination. You will notice that when a child picks up an item, is he able to hold it properly? The eye coordination, the body and eye coordination, the auditory language skills, postural adjustment. Are they standing straight? Are they struggling to stand straight with their legs, etc.? And the visual auditory skills. Now, the perceptual motor skills, you should think of the child, the development stage of the child, and what the child is able to do if you want to explain the concept clearly in detail. The acquisition of perceptual motor skills occur in 3 phases. The cognitive stage, focus on the understanding what is involved in the task. Associative stage, focus on the practice itself. And the autonomous stage, focus on the improvement of speed and accuracy, how fast this child can do certain activities. Now, as the child is growing, we notice that this child is able to do certain things at certain stages. When they do certain things at certain stage, we say this child is either creative or he still needs to develop his creativeness. What is creativity? Creativity in early childhood settings is the ability to produce original and unusual ideas, or to make something new, or to imagine and come up with some new ideas. That is now from the child, and we say this child is creative. So you need to be able to give a full description of what the term means. Henniger has 7 characteristics of such a child that is creative. Let us look into what does Henniger say. He says such a child has a curiosity, flexibility, sensitivity to problems, originality, independence, they can do things on their own, redefinition, and penetration. You must be able to identify those. Now, when you are in the art class, you need, or any other classroom environment where you work with children, you need to maintain order. Otherwise, it's going to be chaos. You need to explain your rules from the beginning, on the onset. Keep guidelines limited to the point. Move a child to a different area of the room if he or she is disruptive. Tell him or her quietly and firmly where you would like him or her to move. Let children know the procedures in place in your classroom, not to disrupt the class. Now, the rest of the maintenance order, the rules, you can find it on page 38 to 39 in your manual. Kellogg is having some development stages in the children's art. The Scrabble Stage, these are the earliest drawings of a young child. They are simple and random markings. You can even notice when the child is picking up a marking pen, you already start just making round circles and squares and what have you. And these drawings, normally you wouldn't understand. They don't have meaning for you. And during this stage, the young children have no concern in trying to draw or represent anything, but rather they are enjoying the process of making scribbles on a paper, or on a wall, or on your fridge, wherever it is. Let us look at the other stage. We have the basic form stage. Here they start to draw lines, simple lines and shapes. Now Kellogg identified several unusual symbols that children use around the world. And these include mandala, sun, ladders, spirals, wavy lines, and rainbows. These symbols were being used to communicate and were the beginning of writing. Children in this stage continue to draw for pleasure only. Let's look at the next one, pictorial stage. During this stage, children use the shapes from stage 2 to draw symbolic representations of real people and things such as houses, trees, windows. They actually pick up from the environment in which they live. And they begin to identify their drawings. And then they start telling related stories about it and expand their drawings to include new meaning and understanding for themselves. What are the 7 principles of art? You need to balance, and it refers to the visual weight of the element of the composition. There must be contrast in your artwork. And contrast is the difference between elements of art in the composition, such as each element is made stronger in relation to the other. There must be emphasis. When the artist creates an area of the composition that is visually dominant and commands the viewer's attention. Like a drawing that is having strong color combinations or light color combinations. If it is having strong color combinations, you see sorrow in that drawing or in that art component. Movement is the result of using the elements of art such that they move to the viewer's eye around and within the image itself. Pattern is the uniform repetition of any of the elements of art or any combination thereof. There must be rhythm created by movement implied through the repetition of elements in an art, a non-uniform but organized way. It is related to the rhythm in the music. And there must be unity. One wants one painting to feel unified such that all the elements fit together comfortably and nothing feels left out. Let us look what you need to know in Unit 2. Unit 2 is more about the drawing itself, how we create pictures and what do we need. We need brushes. Using tiny amounts of paint on your brush, because if you put too much paint on your brush, you are going to spill. And then your fingers. When you use your fingers or your hands to paint, you must keep the paper in place while you are painting to protect the floor or the surface you are working on. Scraping, cut up lots of cardboard and simply add small amounts of paint directly onto the paper. And dripping, you dip a pipe cleaner into the paint, swirl it around a bit and then hold it over your paper. Then your dripping is done. When the child do drawing, they do it in 3 stages. You must be able to either do the drawing of the scribbling, or you must be able to explain the concept, what it means. What does scribbling mean? At this stage, there is no realism in the pictures, and they are mostly just marks on a page. So you, as the student, should be able to do such a drawing. It might seem like there is nothing there, but sometimes children create something called fortuitous realism. They will be able to tell you a story within those drawings that are not clear for you as an adult. So students, please take note, be able to draw and or explain the concept. Prismatic. When we look at the image, we can see a little bit of human beings being drawn. There is their ears, there is a mouth, their eyes, the nose. Some of them are having some hair on. Now at this stage, children are attempting to create things that they see with their eyes on a daily basis. They might draw the simplest things such as feet, faces, stick figures, cars, truck, trees, and houses for that matter. Semantic. In this stage, there are more detail. If we look at the picture, we can see there is a car, the steam is going out of the chimney. There is a house, there is a roof. The roof has been painted black. There are windows, there are doors. So this is more a clear one. And they might use clever shapes such as V for birds, etc. When we do drawings, we need certain items to make our drawing interesting. Either you're going to use a leaf. If we look at A, that leaf is having a pattern. When you keep the leaf flat on a surface and you do the painting around that leaf, when you lift up the leaf, you are going to have a beautiful design pattern from natural resources. We have the feather. We have the roller brush. We have the foam brush. And then we also have an apron that you need to put on when you do painting in the classroom. And then we've got the different comps that you can use with different patterns on. So when you do painting, you cannot just only stick to one type of item that you need to use. You can improvise. You can use tree branches also to use them to do your painting on. Now, how do we prepare for finger painting? We said we can do finger painting, we can do brush painting, etc. You need to cover the area you plan to paint. Tape down the paper, otherwise if you don't tape down the paper, it's gonna move and then your painting will not come out nice. Set up your paint and water. Prepare your hands, like washing your hands, etc. Pick your colors that you need to use. Start your painting and let the flow go. Let your painting dry. Sufficient time for drying should be allowed. After these paintings has been done by the learners, we need to acknowledge the learners somehow by displaying their work in the classroom. That sense of belonging in the class should be created for the learners. We are dividing it into sections. We start with the classroom. Display the work that the children's work communicates that they matter and that their arts has value. A classroom filled with the work of children is a delight to be in, because it also creates that nice atmosphere for teaching and learning to take place. Although early in the school year, the teacher might do much of the display planning and caretaking, As the year progresses, learners can take increasingly active role in displaying their work. So you can give them a space in the classroom where they go and paste their own work and display it. How can children be involved? They can simply choose pieces of their own work that they give to the teacher to assemble into a display. And taking on responsibility for display, learners have an opportunity to learn and practice important social and academic skills. When children choose work for displays, they learn to reflect on their work. So if you are having 3 items, you choose the best one to display. And that brings out the pride in what you have done. By creating displays that recognize efforts rather than perfection, children better understand that learning is a process of growth. So your first drawing will definitely not be perfect. But as you continue to do some painting, another drawing, your performance and the process of growth is increasing. Creating display can also affirm children's growing sense of competency and give them practice in individual and group decision making. Now, what is the benefit for the learner? It provides an opportunity for the learner to learn from each other. So at the time of displaying their work, the one learner can look at the other learner's work and learn from that one. How did you do this? How did you apply that one? They appreciate each other's work. Nurturing empathy, respect, and a strong sense of classroom community is created. Now, what materials are you going to use to create pictures? Use brushes. You can use fingers or hands to paint, scribing, dripping on a piece of paper. Let us look at Unit 4, where we talk about the equipment you need for drama, how to make a sock puppet. You need to find a clean sock. When you write out this, you need to put it in bullet points. Don't write it in paragraph form. Find a clean socket that's long enough to cover your arms. A crew sock or a knee sock would work great for this. And the sock can be of any color you like. The more colorful, the better. It can be fussy or plain. And it can even have some stripes to make it more interesting, just to make sure there are no any holes. How do you do it? Once you have the sock on your arm, make a C form or C shape with your hands and put your fingers into the toe part. Try to get your thumbs into the heel part. If you can't reach it, tuck the sock into the groove between your thumb and fingers. Open and close your hands. Your socks should be already starting to look like a puppet. After you have created your sock, now it's time for the puppet show. How do we do it? You should start with something like farm animals, the old MacDonald on the farm, or animals in Noah's Ark. You need to read stories to children about the pets or animals and then engage them in a conversation about the different type of pets, which they already know. Some of them knows because they have it at home. And tell the children that they will make sock pet puppets out of the socks, and set out the art materials and invite the children to work together in small groups. While the glue is drying, ask the children to think about what they would like to name their puppets, and encourage children to participate in activities that will help develop their dramatic play and language ability. We come to music. Music is good for the spirit and the heart. Now we talk about harmony. You need to be able to explain what harmony is. Harmony means playing several notes together as a chord, and the word comes from the Greek harmonia, meaning to join things up. A tune by itself can sound nice, but it can be harmonized by adding an accompaniment of chords. So you must be able to explain what harmony is. Then we come to rhythm. Those are the music terms that you need to know by heart. Rhythm is the element of time in music. When somebody starts dancing and there is no rhythm in the dance that the person is performing, it's actually, some people are laughing at that person because it looks a bit abnormal without rhythm. So when you tap your toes to the music, you are keeping the beats or following the structural rhythmic pulse of the music. There are several important aspects of rhythm. The duration, how long a sound lasts. The tempo is the speed of the beat. Now when you explain concepts, please make sure that you write out full details. Don't put small bullet points, because it's not going to help at all. For you to gain more marks, you need to say more and explain more and give examples if need be. The octave in music, sometimes abbreviated to 8VE, is the interval between one musical note and another, whose pitch is twice its frequency. When we dance to music or listen to music, there are benefits for development in the child. What does music do to the child? It increases the sensory development of the child. It improves literacy and numeracy. The child is building words. They are singing, saying the words, improving on numeracy. Sometimes they count also while they are singing. It's a mood filter, a lifter. It lifts up the mood of the child. If the child was a little bit down, the mood is going to be lifted. And this child will be a happier child after listening to music. It builds coordination. When your arms move and your legs move and your eyes, hand-eye body coordination, all of it goes together. Music can help children develop their vocabulary. They build on words, they pick up new words within the music. Benefits of music education in an early childhood setting. What does music do to the brain? The benefits of musical experience in childhood can actually accelerate the brain development, particularly in the areas of language acquisition and reading skills. Infants and music. Infants recognize the melody of a song, especially if the child is born. The mom is always singing a certain song to the child, and that melody the child can recognize. And before they understand the words, they already understand the melody of the song. They often try to mimic the sounds and start moving to the music as soon as they are physically able to. When they start to do their first walking, steps of walking, they already start to move according to the rhythm of the music. Toddlers and music. Toddlers love to dance and move to music. The key to toddler music is the repetition of songs, which encourage the use of words and memorization. So if the music is repeated, they pick up the words that they miss out in the first round when the song was playing. And preschoolers and music, they enjoy singing just to be singing. And they aren't self-conscious about their ability, and most are eager to let their voices roar. They sing it out, whether the notes are not in place, but they keep singing. And they like songs that repeat words and melodies, use rhythm with a definite beat, and ask them to do things. Now, what are the strategies to create effective and enjoyable music experience for a class? You need to prepare the environment. You know, when people are invited to a party, the environment is made in such a way that the moment you step in that venue, the environment is already telling you this is a party. There is food set aside, there are drinks set aside, the music is there. So the same with our classroom environment. We need to make it enjoyable for the children. You need to have a careful planning and preparation. Use essential tools in your classroom. Like the starting point for positive music experience should be selecting the correct music for the event. You need to strengthen the music curriculum through that environment. Encourage creative expression. You will need to allow young children the freedom to express themselves through music and to experiment and explore with music. At the same time, take time to let them know what they are doing is valued. Emphasize enjoyment. The quality of musical expression should not be the focus of an early childhood music curriculum. Children have yet to develop the skills needed for quality performance as they are growing. Choose music that is comfortable at a certain pitch. Young children's voices are still maturing, and music with a high pitch is harder to sing. So when we start singing as a group and the pitch is too high, then the rest of the voices cannot come in. So please choose the correct pitch for these younger ones. Expand your musical repertoire. Try to avoid sticking to old familiar music. Borrow some recorded music from the library or other adults and work on expanding your musical horizons. You can continue reading that on page 110 to 112 in your manual. What are the elements of early childhood music curriculum? The music curriculum contains listening to music, responding to music through movement, opportunities to make music, become a musician, understand music concepts and music making. So there is a possibility of a career in music. Now when we listen to music, our bodies are doing some certain movements, and we call those movements body percussions. You must be able to explain what body percussion is. It is simply using the body to make percussive sounds in any way you can. Let us look at examples of body percussions. You clap your hands, stamp your feet, thigh slapping, finger clicking, kissing sound with the lips, tongue clicking, you hum to the music, grunting, toe tapping. All those are part of body percussions when you listen to music that you can do. Now, what are the challenges? Some people cannot do certain things because they are not fully developed, especially the children. They are still developing. So one that is clicking the tongue, the other one cannot click the tongue. So what are the challenges one can face? Use combination of sounds can be challenging, like clapping hands, clack of tongue, whistle and slap thighs, click fingers and stamping the feet. It can be very challenging to combine all those. Try alternating body percussion sounds like clap hands, stamp feet, clap hands, stamp feet, kissing sounds with lips, cluck of the tongue, and you can definitely, all those things can be definitely challenging. Create body percussion duets or body percussion orchestra with a group, and don't forget to use body percussion conductor. Working in a group with people, it can be challenging to carry out all the body percussions at once. And make variations of body percussion sounds. Clap your hands in different ways or use different techniques like cupping your hands as you clap. Listen to a varying pitch of resonance. All those can be challenging. Now, how can you involve little children in body percussion? Explain to the children you are going to use different parts of their bodies just for them to prepare themselves emotionally and physically. Start with the head, bounce head up and down and say boing boing. Then add one sound at a time, because learners are learning very slow. You cannot add all the sounds at once, so you need to add it one sound at a time. And then push fingers onto the nose and say honk honk, and pull one earlobe, then the other, and say ding dong. Clap your hands and say clap clap. Tap knees and say tap tap. So the body is involved. The ears, the nose, the hands, the feet, all of them are making different sounds, as we can see. For the nose, you say honk honk. For the earlobe, you say ding dong. For clap of hands, you say clap clap. So you are involving different sounds for each of the body parts. There are music milestones for children at different levels. For the 1-year-olds, echoing tonals and rhythm patterns with limited accuracy, adjusting pitch up and down, moving his or her body in response to the rhythmic sounds, playing with bells, egg shakers, rhythm sticks, etc. All those props. And for an extended time, but usually not in sync with the music unless it is by chance. And vocalize with short bubbles to entire phrases with the lyrics. Now for the 2-year-olds, you see, for the 1-year-old, we're having only 6 of those. As the children are growing a little bit more, for the 2-year-olds, we are adding more to what they are supposed to be able to do. Echoing tonals and rhythm patterns with increasing accuracy. So now the speed is increasing. Singing short phrases of a song in tune with the remaining notes not in tune. And distinguishing between different voices and instruments. Demonstrating rhythm. Enjoying marching, walking, dancing, jumping. Those are the type of things that the 2-year-old is able to do already. Enjoying playing a wide range of rhythm instruments that will sometimes be in tempo to music. And they also be able to sing lyrics with increasing ease and enjoyment. What are the music activities for an infant and a toddler? They are able to shake, pop up pillows, sound of music, jumping up, mood music, drum parade. Those are the type of things they are able to do, the infants and the toddlers. The preschoolers can already play some music instruments. They can jump, they can dance props, they can play the freeze games. And the early primary grades, they can do the high and low, middle, They can do musical statues, musical chairs, and they move like the music. You should be able to either identify the musical instruments indicated in the pictures, or you should be able to explain how these music instruments are made. The drum. Let's look at how you can make the drum. You need an empty oatmeal or box of boxes or coffee tin. I want you, when you write out this, you need to first identify the type of instruments, the type of equipment you need. Identify the equipment you need, state it, and then you come to the steps. Don't write it in paragraph form. Empty box of boxes or coffee tin. You need a fabric or construction paper. You need glue, and then you need wooden spoons. After you collected now these materials, what do you need to do now? Use the container, such as an empty oatmeal box or a coffee tin, and then make the drum for each child. Children can put the drums with their hands or use a small wooden spoon as a drumstick. Play music with a brisk beat and parade around the classroom, or enjoy the freedom of the outdoors where the drummers can drum and stamp their feet to make loud, boisterous rhythms. So please study how you can make it, or how or be able to identify those music instruments. Dance. When we dance, we involve some motor skills. Fine or gross motor skill, you should be able to describe it. Fine motor skills entail using small muscles of the body. When the children are growing up, they are writing, they are coordinating the hands and eye movement, they are creating works of art, they are moving their eyes or their lips. Those are fine motor skills, small muscle groups that are involved. You should be able, at this stage, we are exposing you to learn more. We don't limit to just what is in the manual. You need to know the different types of dances that are involved. Bachata, then we've got the hip hop, we've got the salsa dance, that is a very nice one. Indian dance, the ballet dancing. You should be able to identify the dances in the images that are given. What are the benefits of dancing for young children? It promotes creativity. It improves classroom performance. So you need to describe each component there. Dance improves self-esteem. It encourages socialization, where you socialize with people, you learn new dance moves from somebody else, you socialize with the person, asking the name of the person, etc. That is creating some bond between people. Dance encourages an active lifestyle. It helps you to improve behavioral issues. Dance is a skill that requires intense focus, discipline, and coordination. And dance is also fun. List the elements that must be present within the performance. There must be a leap, there must be a skip, there must be a movement with a prop, a low-level movement near the ground, high-level movement, imitation of an animal, movement performed by the group as a whole, and a movement performed by an individual. Free movement to different types of music. That's the activities that early childhood learners are involved in. Choreograph movement, large and small muscle movement, etc. You can read the rest. How to prevent losing control of a class? You need to use appropriate materials, movement songs, etc. Those are the popular dances that I have been talking about already, so you need to go through them. Balance, how the teacher can test balance in a child. The last part that we are going to discuss is our drama. Forms of drama, what are they? And I've put out for you the different activities, mime activities that you can look at for drama performance. You must be able to define the term costumes and also explain what different costumes represent. What is the importance of role play? Role play allows learners to engage in, explore, and learn about everyday roles. So you need to go through this also. And you must be able as a teacher to prepare for a lesson, to prepare a lesson. What are you going to include in your lesson for an upcoming puppet show? Children need to be involved in drama activities. How are you going to do that? Activities that will assist learners to develop body awareness. Body puzzle, Simon says, head and shoulder, knees and toes, point and label your body parts, etc. Dear students, I wish you all the best for the examination. Please feel free to contact me. Don't feel that you are bothering the tutor. I'm more than willing to assist you. I thank you.